Hey guys, Mistmaster1 here, and welcome back to more Let's Play Kingdom Hearts Final Mix HD Proud Level 1. Not so cheery, and I'm not, my mood's not so cheery this time, because last time we made our way here to Hollow Bastion, but Riku has taken the Keyblade from us, and our party members have abandoned us under their orders by the king to follow the key. They have now stopped being allies for us, as we now have just this silly wooden sword at our hands, and we do have Beast, our last world party member of the game, who's also looking for someone special alongside with us. In this episode, we're gonna see if we can just persevere. So of course we have a white trinity. Aw, man. Well, trinities don't mean anything now. We don't have our party. Remember at the end of, well, not even at the end of, but halfway through last episode, I said if there's anything else you'd like to do in the, the game, like stuff, worlds you've done, and, backtrack with other stuff, yeah, now we cannot leave the world at this point in time because of the events that have taken place. The game will not allow us to leave Hollow Bastion. If we come over here to this chest right here, we can get ourselves a Mega Elixir, which is pretty nice. But I mean, I guess Beast won't... I mean, Beast has his tendencies to be useful, so I'm not going to say that's so bad. But I mean, without at least 3 people, a Mega anything isn't going to be really useful to us. We've made it all the way to the top of Rising Falls, so now we're gonna go on forward to the castle gates. Look at that thing in the background. And we can just call an elevator and we'll be on our way. Now, a few things to note. You'll start seeing like these little diamond crystal things, and whenever you activate these things, they will activate certain lifts and various other things across this place, because if you look up, there's an elevator ride over there, and yeah, there's 2 sets of elevators, like quick little lifts that you cannot use. If you come over here, there's this little gate. Oh my god, I saw the inside of Beast's face. That was not very nice. If you see the ones like this that are red, it'll actually start moving the ones that are up in the air like that. Now you can see that one will start moving around. If you activate, like, there's certain ones that, like, emit a blue sort of glow, like this one. If you call this one, it'll bring the lift, the lift that we just used to go back to Rising Falls that way. We don't need that. And over there, there's actually a gate that, what's it called? Like, it's basically the front doors. You'll also see there's a new Heartless right here. There's a Dark Ball. That's the spherical enemy with shadows. And if you go farther even more, you can find yourselves a Defender Heartless, which can shoot various types of magic and just charge you. The Dark Ball can warp around and stuff like that. And, of course, now that we don't have our Keyblade anymore, our attacks won't really stun this guy, so you need to be really, like, any of the Heartless won't be stunned by our current Keyblade. Well, obviously not, because we don't have a Keyblade, we have ourselves the wooden sword. As you see, the gates are shut, and we can't really do anything about this, so our only real solace is to go and investigate some other part of the castle that Hollow Bastion is, because this is pretty much what the world is. It's just this giant castle and stuff. We're going to activate this lift right here. You can also just drop down from the ledge and fall, and it'll bring you to the same place. And it'll bring you down to this lower part really quick, and we have more bubbles here. I'm going to explain this later, but just go into this bubble really fast. Talk now, act now, explain later. Basically, we don't want to deal with those dark balls. This bubble will transport us into the interior of this little place right here. But really quick, I just did that so I could despawn the Heartless that are out there. Now I'm going to quickly exit the place we just entered from. Heartless, you don't want to be dealing with the Dark Balls. They can teleport, thrash around, be a real nuisance to you. But the reason I went in there is because their sort of spawn location is over there. And if you work yourself over here, you can maneuver over to this bubble right here, get inside that, and you will hear the Dark Balls actually spawn in the distance, and the music picks up. You hear, like, the battle music is going on. But now what you can do is get on this platform right here, glide over to this little floating part, and over to here, and you can sort of eyeball the Dark Balls from a distance. And if you just pay attention to them, they'll eventually just despawn like that. And once they're in that status, you don't have to worry about your command menu turning red and, not being able to open chests. Because there are several chests in this area that we would like to pick up. There's also, like, these sets of crystals right here. Activate it. It actually creates a slightly taller platform, I believe. So, for example, if you didn't have, let's say, the high jump ability, now you could actually make the jump over here. I don't think you could do that before. Don't take my word for that, but that's the premise of why that's there. Because you could actually... well, first off, you get a mithril in that chest. That's the whole point of that. You could actually... you could have up to 3 shared abilities right now, depending on the mid-game worlds you've been to. And it is very possible you do not have high jump, but you will always have glide, like, no matter what. but you may not have high jump depending on how you've played the game, because you could actually do Atlantica instead of Monstro, and it would fit the circumstances required to get to this point. But there's a whole thing with alternate cutscenes in this game that I will be covering at a later point. Like, after we've covered the next several major story events, I'll start making bonus parts about that. But as the amazing catchphrase is, more on that later. Get yourself a Thundargy, the nothing new. While you're over here, hit this switch right here, this little crystal. This will bring out a little platform from the wall there that we can use to traverse up to that upper part over there. And there is a dark ball over there. Why are you still here? That scared me, actually. I didn't realize he was still there. Be careful with your movement here. If you fall down, they'll spawn more of the dark balls. Work your way over here to this little chest. Get yourself a paper gummy, so neato. Which I believe is just an accessory gummy. It doesn't really do anything. Now we're gonna just fly back over to where we were initially to despawn the heart balls. No, the dark balls. And to activate this last little switch here, and now we have formed a little gap in order to cross over to this little spot right here, because as we saw, we were in the interior of this little building from the beast. Good job. Okay, now we can activate, or we can access, rather, the Waterway, which is this whole set of buildings and hallways from the top. Huh, there's a little chest right there, but there's a little gate, blocking us, so I wonder how we could reach that. More on that later. The neat thing about Beast, you'll see like there's these little things right here, these little gateways, but they're kind of discolored compared to the rest of the wall. Well, you can call Beast over, and he'll actually destroy it for you, and that's a nice little purpose that he serves, and he's going to be aiding us in that little aspect to get through the next little parts of this place. And inside this chest, get yourself a Thundargy, but still, there's no clear-cut way to get to that chest from where we are currently. And, well, it's actually very tricky the way that they lay that out, because unless you make a note that that's actually there, you'll probably not even realize you missed the whole chest to begin with. So now that we've done that, we're just going to come back down and go into this bubble, back into this building that we did originally, but now we're actually going to do stuff in it. Because last time, the purpose for that was to just despawn the Heartless so I could do everything else out there. Now I can actually do stuff in here, which is like the sort of path that we're meant to go. First off, open up this chest. You can find yourself a fire ring, like a Blizzard ring we found in the last video, but that's elemental defense. Elemental defense is not very useful. Any kind of defense isn't useful by this point in the game anyway, because most things are going to two-shot us. Let's have Beast break down this wall right here. Now, if you remember at the end, I keep saying at the end, but just during last episode, I said you could actually freeze the bubbles right here, and that same concept can still apply, and you can get on the thing like so. But here's the thing, you see that little chest up there? Well, while this bubble is, aw man. Well, I mean, we're supposed to take this bubble to this little place over here to advance the place, but we want to freeze this little bubble right here, create ourselves a little more height, a platform that gives us height, and we can actually jump up to this little ridge right here on top of the ceiling here. And this is that chest that we saw from the gate earlier. You see, there was the little place that we just broke through with Beast, and this is the other side of that. This is a very easy to miss chest right here. If you open it, you get yourself a dark matter, the most rare synthesis material in the game. So really tricky on their part to design that. That's something that, first of all, they don't even tell you that you can freeze the bubbles like that, and then on top of that, you need the high jump ability to actually reach the sort of upper part and then make your way over to the rafter over there. But now that I've explained that, let's just continue on with the rest of this place, because there's nothing else that really needs to be done aside from just getting to the end of this place. Right here, there's another wall that we can have Beast break right here. You can go in it if you want. There's a couple chests. That's nice, you can actually see the chests from the room here. But this room we can do more in this room later on, so just don't mind it right now. We will be revisiting this part of the world once certain events have happened later on, so just to open that up, it's convenient to do that now that Beast is in your party with you solo and all that. Now we have ourselves these little switches right here that actually open up and close certain gates, and they're sort of meant to use, for puzzles, if that makes any sense. So all you have to do is just hit them in order in which you see them. We hit that first one back there, and now we hit this one right here. And by doing so, we have locked ourselves in, but by hitting that first one back here, we can now go over to this place and access the third little switch. And if we hit this third switch, it'll unlock that little gate on the left side and reveal ourselves the next thing to go to. And it's sort of just like a point A to point B to point C kind of deal. And eventually, once you reach this point, it'll open up the gate to this little bubble that'll take us to the next part. Oh my god. Look at that. That's awful, dude. You can see like the interior camera of Beast. Like sometimes when the shot is like really up close behind him, you can see like the interior model. It's really gross. But here we have the last part of the waterway that we need to go through, so off we go. And this is where things can get a little messy. I would recommend you hotkey gravity or just put on your customization menu, whatever, for coming up. Activate this switch right here, and this will raise this little platform from the ground in order for us to get up to a higher point of elevation, like so. And now we've come to a dead end, and that's the last little switch we need to press. And when we press that, it'll actually open up the main gates that we saw at the beginning of this episode. So you think, okay, that's simple enough, and all of a sudden, oh no, there's a Defender Heartless here. See, these guys like to shoot fire, they shoot blizzard, they can just like, you know... Oh, I'm sorry, I swore right there. I have to cut that out because this is a good manners Let's Play. Basically, how you deal with these guys is you use gravity a bunch, and it will gradually reduce their health. And Beast can take apart this guy, you know, as it goes like so, and make quick work of them. Thank you for the ether. Oh, I forgot to do that, actually. We are going to take... Aw, man, he only has one ether left, that's fine. I should have taken the ethers at the start of this episode, or at the end of last episode, but that's fine, not a big deal. We still have like 13 ethers to our name, so it's not that big of a deal. Hit this last switch right here, release it. It sounds like that door has opened, head back to the castle gates. So now, I will just quickly cut this out, but actually no, I'm not going to, because something's changed on the way out. Now what we've done is unlocked the gates that are at the top of this place, and we have to backtrack all the way back up there, so we can open them and progress farther into it. We don't have to hit this switch right here, because that's not important. It opens up the gate to the place we just went to. What we need to do is hit this switch right here, which will allow that gate to slide back into place and not block off the part before it, and then hit this little switch here, because if now it swaps out those two right here, and if we didn't activate that other switch that was over there to begin with, this little gate would block off and like this little thing here, so we couldn't get out. And now that's pretty much everything that we need to deal with in this waterway. We will come back to that little dungeon area later, but as it's set now, we've done everything. Let's touch this save point to get our MP back for what's coming up again soon. Backtrack again through this little bubble. Nothing else is important to freeze the bubbles, by the way. That was the only instance in the waterway where it was really mandatory you freeze it so you could get a dark matter. And now right here, we're going to be really careful. Our goal is to aim for that little corner over there, back where the switch is. So what we're going to do is just non-stop, just keep tapping square to dodge roll so you can quickly get over here. Get into this corner, just dodge roll into this corner, and after a little bit, if you've done it right, you won't have to deal with the dark balls that advance. What's up, Beast? And they'll just despawn again, and you can access this switch, which you need to in order to get back up to the castle gates in the first place. So there you go. And now that all of that has been said and done, we can't really do anything else in this place aside from go through the main gates. Again, that little switch right there will take you back to the Rising Falls. We're just gonna bypass... Actually, would not hurt to put on some ethers. Let me just take that. I mean, in emergency. I'm probably not going to use any items for the next thing coming up, but it wouldn't hurt. Now we're just going to run past these Heartless once again, and now that these gates are open, we can approach it, and not even have to worry about the Heartless. They open, and we can access the main strong point of this place. But in the meantime, look at this! There's Jasmine and Snow White and... Yeah, there's Snow White, there's Alice, there's a bunch of Disney princesses, and there's Kairi. Do you remember all those princesses that they were talking about before?
Oh, purest of hearts, reveal to me the keyhole!
That was their plan all along. They gathered all 7 princesses of light, and they're gonna use that power in order to seal the keyhole, or grant access to the keyhole, to this world. And Hall of Bastion's like a huge super complex of the world, you know, where darkness comes from and all that other stuff, and, you know, if they get access to that keyhole, then it's giganto bad news. Hey, look, we're in the main sort of hall for this place.
close, I can feel it. Are you ready for them? No.
It's the girl he was looking for. Wait, what? Oh, it's a ruse. It's just a Heartless.
Quit while you can.
No, not without Kyrie.
The darkness will destroy you.
Nice outfit, dude.
You're wrong, Riku. The darkness may destroy my body, but it can't touch my heart. My heart will stay with my friends. It'll never die.
Really? Well, we'll just see about that.
Ah!
Goofy.
Sora ain't gonna go anywhere.
You'd betray your king?
Not on your life. But I'm not gonna betray Sora either, cause he's become one of my best buddies after all we've been through together. See you later, Donald. Could you tell the king I'm really sorry?
Hold on, Goofy! We'll try them together! Well, you know, all for one and one for all.
I guess you're stuck with us, Sora.
Thanks a lot, Donald. Goofy.
How will you fight without a weapon?
I know now I don't need the Keyblade. I've got a better weapon. My heart!
Your heart? What good will that weak little thing do for you?
Although my heart may be weak, it's not alone. It's grown with each new experience, and it's found a home with all the friends I've made. I've become part of their heart just as they've become a part of mine. And if they think of me now and then, if they don't forget me, then our hearts will be one. I don't need a weapon. My friends are my power.
Yo, look at this. We got ourselves our Keyblade back, boys, and our teammates. Hell yes. And now it is time we face off against Riku for the first time since the second episode, and he is a lot more annoying this time. Because he has, he has a lot of these dashing attacks, and he's pretty ruthless. So you know how I'm going to start this fight out, is I'm actually going to summon our new summon that we got at the end of Neverland, which is Tinkerbell, since we haven't shown her off yet. And basically what Tinkerbell does, instead of being a sort of offensive Heartless, she's more of a support Heartless like Bambi is, where Bambi gives you MP. It's sort of along the same concept, except if you take damage now, and this also applies to your other party members, that she will actually heal you. So now watch this. Oh no, Donald healed me. I guess that's fine. I guess now I'll throw an Ether for safety. But basically now, she casts an auto-regenerative spell upon the party, and she can also bring party members back from the dead, well, not KO, I suppose, if, she feels like it, like, see right there, she just brought Donald back. And also, if you happen to run out of HP while you're, while you have her summoned out, you'll actually get yourself another chance at, not screwing up. So if you run out of HP while Tinkerbell is summoned, you'll basically get auto-revived, and you get auto-life. So you get auto-regen and auto-life cast as long as she's on the field, and that's really nice. Now, the way we deal with Riku is, you see, he's very ruthless. He'll just completely go after you. Your party members aren't going to be the most helpful thing here. He has, like, really high jumps. He'll do spin attacks, like so, every time. Every 3 hits, he will auto-retaliate with that sort of slide move. And if you just do a regular 3-hit combo, you don't always give yourself enough recovery time to sort of dodge him right here. So what you want to do is do a 1-1-2-3 hit, because the finishing hit of your aerial combo will give you enough distance to sort of avoid his auto counter right there. So like so. Now that I did an auto counter there, I sort of got myself away from Riku when he was doing that. So now if I just do a regular 3-hit combo, oh, well that's not good. Well now you'll see, as long as I can avoid it, not just eat it. You see my HP slowly regenerates. That's not super useful due to the fact that, what's it called? Due to the fact that I can get killed in 2 hits anyway, and it takes a considerable amount of time. No MP, which is nice, to get my health back up right there, but as you saw, that took like a good 10 to 15 seconds. So that means even if I'm in critical status, I still have to wait a good 10 to 15 seconds basically running away from my enemy before I'm fully healed again. So, I mean, it's nice once in a while, but I mean, don't heavily rely on it. I'm kind of just doing combos to show you what I mean. See right there, I had no recovery time when I did just a regular combo there because of my finisher being the last connecting hit before he auto-retaliated. So that's why you want to go along the sort of strategy of 1, 2, and 3, and the odds of you getting hit by that are considerably lower, or just like not possible. I'm not sure either. I personally have never been hit out of this when I do this particular strategy, although it could happen. So just keep your wits about you. Also, this guy is immune to magic. If you use magic on him, you'll just one more time listen for this little sound effect.
Fire! Fire!
Or you can also see like a little force field thing that goes off. If you use Blizzard as well, that has no effect. The only way you can deal with this guy is just full frontal assault attacks. Also, I would not recommend using ground combos because, again, it's similar to the sort of aerial combo thing where when you do your finisher type hit, it doesn't really work out too well. And if you do a 1, 2, and then... well, that actually kind of worked. That was weird, but... I mean, most of the time I would feel that, yeah, that sort of thing will happen. So the general guidelines for this fight is do a 1 aerial hit, then a 1, 2, and a finisher, and there you go. He's actually not too difficult. Just play defensive, and he's not too bad, and there we go. We have taken out Riku. Even with the power of darkness, he's still no match for us. Oh hey, now Beast is back in action.
So, your heart won this battle.
And there we are, guys. Now our full party's back together again, and we learned the White Trinity, the last Trinity of the game. I'm gonna keep my normal party for the time being. And here we are. Now we are here in the entrance hall of Hollow Bastion. Our whole party's back together. We now have our Keyblade back, so... thankfully, it was only such a short segment where we had to kind of fight for ourselves, and, you know, it was looking kind of grim right there, but now our Keyblade's back, our friends are back, Riku doesn't have control of the Keyblade anymore. It's pretty good. You know, if you come up here, by the way, if you tried to come up here, I kind of stayed down there the entire time. That door over there we can now go through, but that would have been locked, and there's like a little barred gate around this place that you can't go through either. And if you look over here, there are 4 sockets. What goes in them? This is an emblem door that we need to fill in. This is the Heartless Insignia. And we will be tackling that in the next episode. But really quick, this is something I never knew for the longest time. You see this thing up here? You can actually grab this thing, and if you come up here, you can get yourself up to a little secret sort of thing. I don't know how I've never known about this until recently, but there's actually a chest right here, and if you open this, you can get yourself an AP up. Not super useful, so you're not really missing out on a lot, but just the fact that that's there is pretty mind-blowing to me. And we're going to end this episode off by going into the library right here, because there's a whole thing to do in this room alone, which I'm going to save for its own video, but basically there's a maze here. The books seem to be arranged alphabetically. This is the K shelf, there's a book missing. And the whole gimmick with this place, A shelf, there's a book missing, blah blah blah, is you have to pick up books across this entire place because they've been scattered, volume 8, and basically put them into their specific slot, like so. And when you do that and you finish a row of books, it reveals another pathway to get to the next part of the library. And now we have ourselves this little staircase, and on top of that we have ourselves the save point of this place. And I think with that done, I don't want to do too much of this because I want to save that puzzle for its own sort of video, but we need to actually complete that first little step just so we can actually do anything in the first place. I suppose I'll go and grab this little chest right here so I don't forget about it. I mean, I won't forget about it, but just so I don't have to, you know, worry about it. And, did I just say the same thing twice? That was great. Got ourselves an Ultima Gummy, which is actually the last laser and the fully upgraded laser, but in my opinion, I think the Meteor G is actually better than that, but that's a whole case for another time. And that's pretty much going to do it, guys. We have now made it to the library of Hollow Bastion. I'm going to cut this here. This has been episode 31 of Let's Play Kingdom Hearts Final Mix HD Proud Level 1. I have been Mistmaster1, and in the next episode, we are going to do more stuff here in the library. We're going to ascend upwards of Hollow Bastion by completing the whole sort of emblem door that's down there, and see how far we can make it before new things start to happen. Riku has run off, probably back to Maleficent. We'll see if we can finally snap him out of this whole fiasco at some point, because really, it's been going on for far too long at this point, much like this outro, and we really need to see if we can get our friend back, along with trying to see if we can get Kairi back, but her heart's, you know, still MIA. We don't know where it is. I guess we'll find out soon enough. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in episode 32. Take care.